I haven't, you know, they always tell you, don't worry about the background. Like, your first video is gonna be shit. I mean, this is like, pretty sure there's like a stain on one of, yeah, right there. That was a sneeze. It was blood. I just wanted to make a video to maybe help other people who are in the same boat where they want to make a comic, but they don't quite have the motivation to do it. I feel like a lot of the time procrastination is just so easy and it comes in so many different forms, right? I am a procrastinator. I just wanted to preface with that. I have this addiction to work right until the last minute on things. It's hard. It's hard to get out of that mentality. Doing something like a comic, especially if you're working on it alone, if you're going from script to drawing and rendering and everything else and advertising and uploading, it can be really, really difficult. But it's something that a lot of people want to do, you know? And I feel like self-doubt, I think that that's something that can be won over 1,000%. All the people who have made so many great pieces of work defeated that fear. I mean, you know, the fear is always going to be there, but I guess it's up to you how you choose to manage it, basically. First thing, you should just open up a document or piece of paper and just write down what your ideas are. Just write everything out, unfiltered. Just write everything that you want and what you think might be in there, what you think might not ever make it into the comic. Just write it out, because you never know. You might make a connection later on that does actually happen. It's just about letting yourself be free with it, because especially when you're sketching out ideas, no one's gonna really see that, and it's just a space for you to be able to think freely and brainstorm as much as you like. The way that I started it is I just wrote, you know, all the ideas that I currently have so far for it. So I knew that the title would be Overkill, and that the rough story would be about a person who's just struggling with anxiety, and those thoughts of anxiety just manifest as ghosts that obviously only he can see. I kind of wanted to teach people who may not know ways to deal with anxiety, because we all have our own ghosts of anxiety, right? And sometimes they just plague us completely, and that's what gets us into panic attacks. Genre. So knowing the genre helps with being able to write the script and being able to write the characters, because if you know the genre, then you'll know what kind of tone you want the characters to have, what kind of personality you want the characters to have, what kind of tone you want the city or the world to have. And so the one that I chose was comedy mixed in with slice of life, because it's following this guy with extreme anxiety and he's finding ways to deal with it. So I guess you could say that that's a slice of life. I think I chose the worst time to record this. This is the difficult part, is that not everything that you write and everything that you think of will probably end up in the final product. Whether you've chosen it or whether it's feedback, sometimes you're just gonna have to kill the ideas that you make. It's up to you as a storyteller what you want people to feel and what you're aiming to achieve. Like how you aiming to achieve something that is marketable. It all depends on what you feel and, you know, what you're trying to do with the story. If you have the time to, just write different versions, long or short, refine certain scenes if you need to or if you want to. The way that you write a script for film and the way that you write a script for comics, they're not very different, but they're just different in the way that when it comes to comics, you have a very specific idea for paneling. So for example, I wrote panel 1, page 1. Azul goes into cafe, and then from there you would go panel 2, page 1, and you would write close-up of Azul walking into cafe. You know what I mean? So it's more panel, 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 and you get more of an idea visually of what you want to do, because of the fact that you're actually using paneling and paging. I think that's a really good way of being able to math out everything, especially if your goal is to have that story be told within a certain amount of pages. There's a way to manage the production of pages efficiently within a week, and it depends on, you know, what kind of situation you have if you're in a full-time job, if you're in a part-time job, if you're not currently working, or if you're at school or whatever, just remember to find moments where you think that you are at your best and use that time for quality, to execute quality in your project. So what I'd do is that I'd spend around the time where I felt like I could think the clearest, I would spend that time to draw the sketches, because that's where the foundation of, composition and where you want to plan the lighting to come from. And it's also where you can write notes and how you want to change things, how you want to elevate it in outlines and colors. And so then that means that the rest of the process is a little less brain consuming. I would just outline while I was doing something relaxing, like watching a show. So I found that that was an easier way of seeing it, to spend a dedicated amount of time planning the foundation during sketching, and then going into outlining and coloring in a more casual way. Remember to take breaks, because breaks are super important. Just take micro breaks, 20 minutes. Even if you've only allocated an hour to doing something, just take 3 minutes to just stare into the distance, because otherwise you'll lose the enjoyment of doing it, and then what's the point? Mood boards, so that's coloring. For mine, I made my colors purple and blue and gray, because that's kind of, spooky, scary. Oh, something else that's really good that you could do, make a playlist. So if you have, the genre, the general vibe of the story already, thought out, then make a playlist, because that's one of the best things you could do for motivation. Or just watch a bunch of shows, or clips from shows or movies that resonate a lot with you when you think about that certain story that you have. I think playlists are so great for that, because it's like, you can just slap that on and just do your work, get inspiration, and maybe an idea will pop in your head from listening to that song, and then you could, you really know how to elevate that project because of that song. Never give up. Never stop. It's basically what I want to remind you, because all too often, a lot of our projects and all of our dreams kind of get crushed by this sense of fear that people won't like it, or nobody's even going to look at it. And you just don't know until you do it. And I feel like you can't let yourself live by those thoughts, because I think it's just worth exploring it, and just no shame, just write it out, write your idea out, sketch your idea. Just remember that you gotta execute it in a way where it's good for you in your week, day-to-day life, because if you don't find a way to have a comfortable pipeline, then you're never going to be able to properly execute it. Just never give up on what you want to do, because you just never know what will come out of it. I haven't accomplished everything that I want to yet in my life, but I'm trying to get there, and I feel like if documenting my process along the way helps anyone else, then I'm more than happy to do it. Of course I'm doing it out of the enjoyment of it, but I just want to let you know that you're not alone in the overthinking and the fear that people will just not like you for your ideas. Because it's scary. You are exposing yourself to the world. So be kinder to yourself as well. Just remember to be easier on yourself too. This was just a very small, brief explanation of how I make comics in general. But thank you for being here. I hope this made sense. It probably doesn't. Anyway, thank you for watching.